Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Secret Empire issue number 10, the grand finale of this event almost 2 years in the making. Who will live, who will die, and how will the Marvel Universe be changed? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alright, so this is an issue that wastes absolutely zero time getting started. The united force of all the heroes in the Marvel Universe have finally come to Washington to challenge Captain America. It's clear that his empire is crumbling all around him, and yet despite all of this, Hydra Steve still at the end of the day believes himself to be the good guy. He even tries to talk the other heroes down. Look, I'm just saying you'll all be way happier as Hydra once I use the Cosmic Cube to rewrite the entire universe. Unsurprisingly, the heroes are having absolutely none of that, and they all rush him at once. Unfortunately, with the power of a god literally in his chest, Captain America proves to be quite the adversary. And even with an incomplete Cosmic Cube, he goes about rewriting the entire universe, changing the very fabric of history itself. Now the Fantastic Four were Hydra astronauts, Magneto and Charles Xavier were executed as mutant radicals, and Spider-Man got his powers from Arnim Zola. In fact, all the heroes that we know begin to fade away from existence, that is, except for Sam Wilson, who was able to avoid the changing blast because of the piece of the Cosmic Cube that he still had. Yeah, and this is what it's all really been building to, hasn't it? This big confrontation between the two different Captain Americas. This is, after all, a Captain America-based event. Spencer even goes out of his way to frame the importance of this event by juxtaposing it to the classic image of Captain America staring down Thanos. Sam doesn't fight Steve, though. Instead, he chooses to be smarter and fake him out, saying that he quits, that he's done being Captain America, that he wants to give back the shield and his piece of the Cosmic Cube just so all of this can end. Oh, but it's a giant fake out. You see, Winter Soldier and Scott Lang Ant-Man had actually shrunk down to microscopic size so they could both enter the Cosmic Cube at the same time. This was a potentially suicidal mission, but Scott was more than happy to do it to redeem himself for more or less screwing over the Avengers resistance back at the Mount. Bucky wanted to go into the Cosmic Cube because he still cares about Kobik and feels that she's their best chance at turning the tide against Hydra, and indeed he's right. With the cube completed, that also means Kobik is completed again. She comes through the breach and she's not alone. She ends up bringing with her her memory of Steve Rogers as he was before the change, and because she's an all-powerful godchild, well, she's able to make him manifest. And with that, we have the final showdown of the event, the embodiment of America as it could be and America as it should be. And if that metaphor wasn't clear enough, both Caps are incredibly evenly matched and are both fighting over the shield that Sam had returned to Steve. In a move of absolute desperation, Hydra Cap attempts to reach for Mjolnir, which is very important because if you'll remember, one of the big reasons a bunch of the average folk ended up backing Hydra was because they saw Captain America raise Mjolnir, meaning that he was worthy. But as Good Steve's narration tells us, people like Hydra may gain power sometimes, their ideology might gain footholds, but at the end of the day, they are never worthy. And the only reason Hydra Steve was ever able to lift Mjolnir in the first place was because Elsa St. Clair had used her piece of the Cosmic Cube to change reality so that he could, but only for a minute. Good Steve, though, on the other hand, is more than worthy. He picks up the hammer and in front of the entire world batters his evil counterpart, sending a very strong message to everyone that the darkness has passed and that all is as it should be. Kobik uses her powers to repair the world, but only as much as she can. Everyone who died still died. Everyone who turncoated still turncoated. And the memories of the horror of the Secret Empire will take a long time to fade, but as a reward for the heroes, Kobik goes out of her way to allow them a brief respite. She takes them to a vanishing point in time, which, hey, if you wondered what the whole backstory for Generations was, yeah, this was it. And as the comic winds down, the narration talks about how the heroes finally see themselves for what they should be, and that this will surely be a new age of heroism. One not defined by petty squabbles, infighting, and civil wars. And just to really hit that point home that this is a healing period for the Marvel Universe, we check back on in with Brian, aka the Inhuman Barf, who helped save everyone. His house was defaced by Hydra agents, but the entire community comes out to help him put it it all back in order. So that was Secret Empire issue number 10, everybody. In my mind, a solid conclusion to what was ultimately a solid event, and one that probably stirred up more trouble than anyone assumed it would. Much like the Nick Spencer Captain America series that spawned it, it was a truly topical event, probably the most topical comic book event since the original Civil War. And much like the original Civil War, I don't think we'll be able to properly evaluate this series as a whole until we're a couple years out from all the topics that it was discussing. It was a bold move to take Captain America, this icon of purity and righteousness, to see him corrupted, turned inside out, and then see the effect that had on the Marvel Universe as a whole. It's an even more impressive feat then that at the end of the day, this story was ultimately a call to return to a more classic idea of heroism. Now, is Marvel the company capable of staying true to what they said in this story, or will we be dealing with another world-shaking event in just a couple months? Personally, I hope they stick to their guns. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this one another 9 out of 10. So that's Secret Empire, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, why not check out some of the other videos I have on offer. Then you can follow me on social media at CapeJoel. And if you like what I do and want exclusive access to videos and podcasts before anyone else, you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. It would be most appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been CapeJoel. Thank you so much for watching.